Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Propulsion Swimming live stream powered by AP on what is another history-making day in the pool for GB Swimming. The first time since 1908 that GB have 3 gold medals. Plenty to talk about today, Dan. Not just the gold medals, there's other amazing British swims in the water and swims from around the world that we're going to dive into today.
Yeah, lots to get on with, actually. It was really exciting at work today because, Tom Dean's a local lad from where I live, like Maidenhead sort of area. And a lot of people are now realizing what he's done. He's won 2 golds in 2 days. And so everyone's talking to me like, did you see Tom Dean? And I'm like, yeah, of course I did. And you got some kids now asking me like, are we doing like breaststroke? Are we doing front crawl? Can I swim like Adam Peaty? Can I swim like Tom Dean? I'm like, sure, let's do it. I mean, they're 6, but let's do it. Let's go for it.
That's exactly the inspiration that the Olympics provides.
Yeah, exactly.
So on today's live stream, like we've been doing every night, we will start off with reviewing the finals that were in the early hours of the morning. The whole idea of this is for people who couldn't stay up and watch them, like myself. I have a 9-to-5 job. It would be quite silly for me to stay up at 2 in the morning. And then we'll be reviewing the heats as well and previewing tomorrow's finals while answering all of you guys' questions along the way. Dan, before we get into it, we have to give a shout out to our partners, AP, Adam Peaty's very own brand, who are powering this live stream. They're doing a great job for us and a great job for swimming as a whole.
Well, that's just it. That their overall aim and vision is to revolutionize the sport of swimming through various different projects and events. And they're doing fantastic work, and they're trying to do it to cater for swimmers, coaches, and parents. And like I said yesterday, I think parents need to be in that discussion as well, because they're a fantastic part of the team. They're the crucial part of the age group swimmers, the taxi drivers. That's pretty much their job for the first part.
And almost the ones who don't get the education like the swimmers or coaches get, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have already launched AP+, which is a revolutionary online platform, and involves people that's already part of Adam's team. So it's in fact fantastic. I mean, if you even need a role model and any swimmers to go and visit the camp or at the clinic, then geez, there's no better place to go and learn from the best breaststroke swimmer ever and the best team I'm sure that he has at Loughborough.
Yep. So if you want to book yourself or your child onto an AP race clinic, which are happening before the end of August, please do so by going to clinics.aprace.club or follow the link in the description of this live stream. Right, I can already see in the chat there's talk about the 4x2. It's at the end of the final session, so hold with us. We will get to it. There is a whole final session to go first. And we'll start off with the men's 100 meters freestyle, and we have to talk about Jacob Whittle to kick things off.
Yeah.
The kid is 16, and he's got the English record. He went a 48.11. What is that? 0.4, 0.5 PB from before Tokyo. We thought that he had that in him. Very, very good swim and a massive future ahead of him.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just going to repeat. He's 16. I mean, he shouldn't be going that speed at 16. Now, we talk about Popovici, but he's also just as freakish, if you like, as Jacob, because they shouldn't be going that quickly. Fantastic stuff from him to go 0.3, 0.4 quicker than he's ever gone before. And we knew that he had to be in a better race than what he was in the heats. He was in a better race, and the way he comes back at these guys, and these guys are the best in the world.
Backhand. Really good backhand.
He's either coming back at them or staying with them, and we're talking about the likes of Moresi, Dressel, those sort of swimmers, which is incredible. Fantastic future, like you say, English record, which is fantastic.
Should we talk about the other swimmers in that first semi-final then? Because Caeleb Dressel led that semi-final. He finished in a 47.23. Again, he looks to be tying up slightly in these hundreds. It didn't worry me in the relay. It's starting to the odd alarm bells going off in my head, thinking, you know what? He's still not won an Olympic individual gold.
No, that's very true.
For this massive media circus that follows him around. He's still not won an individual gold, and I'm not sure it's coming in this 100 free now.
I tell you what, I mean, a lot of people were saying that this is the world record to go for Dressel, and I'm very much on the fence. Not even on the fence. I'm actually not even close to it as of right now, because I'm not sure. Because Kolechnikov, which is in a second semi, is a massive threat to gold. In fact, is he favourite for gold? I don't think he's favourite still, but I think he might just get Dressel.
It very much could go all over the place because the Italians have both been looking really good. I've liked Moresi since the first relay, since that 4x1 relay when he led out the Italians. He's been looking really good. No, he didn't beat Dressel in this heat, but he was coming back at Dressel strong.
Yeah, actually, I really like Moresi as well, and I actually think that he's got a shot of podium ahead of Chalmers now, because Chalmers' swim was
worrying.
The tactic that he does is brave. Really brave, especially with the guys that you're racing against with Kaleshnikov and Dressel and Moresi, who go out strong, and you're hoping that your back end speed, you're trusting the training you've done beforehand. I mean, it's worked for Titmus, so I mean, the Aussies are doing it right, but I'm not so sure it's going to work against these guys. I think if he's not careful, he's going to miss out on the podium, and I don't like saying that because he's defending champion, but I'm not so sure he does it.
He just left himself with so much to do off that turn, and the guys that he's chasing down are not slow guys. You need to be right on there. They're not going to slow down. The only one who really did slow down and die on 100 was Zach Apple, and actually that was pretty disappointing.
It was, because he's done really well at ISL for it was Toronto, isn't he? He swims for Trident. He swims for Trident. It's one of the red teams.
Yes.
Can't remember
there
now.
we go.
Trident. I think it's Trident.
Yeah.
I'm going to say disappointing in Zach Apple, because he swam so quickly in the relays at the start, where he was going 46.6, I think it was, and he's just gone 48.0, which is not enough. You've got to go sub 48 at least for a final.
I think he had the 4x2 after this as well. So the fact that he died off in this 100 as well was really not good for the American relay, because you're already looking at him just like, oh, there's some tired legs there. Yeah. Kaleshnikov, we have to go. We have to talk about him. He's the fastest going into the final in a 47.1. I've just written down wowzer. His second 25 of that first 50. It's kind of, I compare it to Milak's third 50 in the 200 fly. He just pulls away out of nowhere. He has a pretty good start. Next to Dressel, it's not going to look as good. But at the turn, I fully expect him to be in the lead tomorrow.
Yeah.
He goes out hard.
Has Dressel and Kaleshnikov actually raced in the same race yet? I don't think they have. It'll be interesting. Right. I mean, they're going to be right next to each other in 4 and 5. I expect Dressel is going to be ahead after 15, because he always is. He's fantastic at the start, like we always say. But then Kaleshnikov, as of right now, he's just swam the 8th fastest time ever with that 47.1. I think that's kind of gone under the radar, to be honest with you. But he made it look relatively comfy, kind of. I don't know if he's tying up towards the end, because his last 5 meters have not been good this meet. Let's say
it's just the one thing that needs fixing with him. The one thing, but he is young. He is young.
Yeah, I mean, European record. I mean, is it going to go lower? Potentially. I mean, they're going to race against each other now, but I think the pressure now is a telling factor. Yeah. I think times are now completely irrelevant. It's just getting your hand on a wall first, which changes the game. It does change the game, and I don't know if that benefits Chalmers.
I was going to say that might be where Chalmers comes back in if this suddenly slows down slightly because it's a final.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think Dressel slows down for a final. Kaleshnikov might. He wasn't, obviously he missed the gold in the 100 back, so he'd be disappointed on that one.
I think we see a 47.0, 47.1, so similar time to what Kaleshnikov has done. I think that's what the winning time will be. One of my biggest takeaways was, I mean, we've spoken about Jacob already, but the youngsters, Jacob, Popovici, Huang is swimming 47.5s, and in Paris is only 3 years' time. Geez, I mean, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And to have a GB swimmer involved in all that, hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, this is super exciting. But the future's right.
He's just moved over, or is transitioning into the Mel Marshall squad, is Jacob Whittle, which is a very good squad to get into, because we'll talk about Anna Hopkin later on. But her 100 freestyle was out of this world. Yeah. Popovici, he still gets left on the start and then has a lot of waves to deal with these big boys. This was kind of my fear. He's got a very fast time in him in clear water.
Yeah.
But when you're next to Dressel, you're next to Kaleshnikov, you're going to struggle with the waves if you do get left a little bit on the start. And you could see on that second 50, he was really, really smart. He was right on the lane line and trying to ride the waves as much as he could.
Yeah.
But it's a dangerous game to play, because if you fall behind too far, it's tough.
Which I think that's a good thing, because you can see he's a mature head on his shoulders using that lane line and the slipstream. He's obviously learned from that classic Lizak relay from back in Beijing. Well, I think every swimmer, every swammer, everyone involved in swimming knows about that race. Swammer. You're a swammer. I'm a swammer. I've stopped swimming officially.
Is that the official term?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I've made it up.
Have you made that up?
But yeah, looking forward to what he does in the final. I mean, he goes in 5th fastest as a 16-year-old, which is just insane. You got the 4th fastest, who's an 18-year-old. Oh boy, it's just awesome. Paris is going to be so good. There's a big talking point actually that we missed out. We don't want to talk about it too much, but there was a lot of Twitter talk about Dressel's starts going past 15.
Yeah, I mean, even if he did, it's not going to get pulled up because there's too many waves. The officials standing at 15 are never going to see him. You only get caught on TV camera, and there's not like a referee behind a TV, as far as I'm aware.
I feel like you've got to be a very, very brave judge to call Dressel out in a final or semi-final, you know?
It doesn't happen at the elite level, which is a bad example to kids if it does get pulled up by media TV.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't happen. Very few rules. We saw someone pull on the lane rope and get away with it. At this level, the officials are almost not needed.
Just not needed. Yeah, they're almost there for show. Yeah,
a little bit.
Interesting, but this again goes back to the ISL VAR, whether that's going to be a factor and whether that will be then used in. It's a bit like, with the tennis, they brought in the reviews, didn't they? Or the challenges, sorry, at Wimbledon. Wonder if it's going to be something along
They
like
have
that.
coaches' challenges, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll dig into that in a few weeks' time.
Dan,
what's your podium?
I'm sticking with Dressel. I think Dressel wins it. But it's going to be a very tough gold medal to win with Kleshnikov biting at his heels, or in fact, it's just going to be a dead heat where it's going to be separated by 0.01 or something ridiculous like that, So I'm going to go Dressel, Kleshnikov, and I'm going to stick with Morezi. I think the top 3 going in are going to be the top 3 on the podium.
So I'm going to switch about your top 2. I've been Kalashnikov for a little while now. I think it's Kalashnikov, Dressel, and Morezi. I really, really like Morezi, the way he's been going. Chalmers, you cannot write him off, but that semi-final did not fill me with confidence.
Well, he goes in as lane 8, lane 1, so he's going in lane 7, right on the outside Chalmers. What lane was he in for his final in Rio? I think that was like 6 as well.
Yeah, so something like that.
Just don't know. Don't write him off, of course, but I don't think he makes my podium, weirdly, which is strange to say.
Yeah, it is. It's very odd, considering actually in the relays he looked really, really good.
46.4 he was hitting then. So you just, I mean, geez. I mean, it's just watch it because
we could be a mile off.
We can make all the predictions in the world, and actually we're getting our predictions slightly wrong now because there's a lot of upsets. Like the Jacoby 100 breaststroke was a classic one, although no one could have called that. Let's face it. But I mean, just watch it. We can predict all we want, but just got to watch it in real time.
Women's 200 meters freestyle. Titmus reigns all. So good. I've written down here, actually, the top 3 helped each other out. So Alexiak in 3rd helped Jorge for the first 50, set the tone. Then Jorge set the tone for the middle 100, and then Titmus went on from there. Yeah, it was almost like pacemakers for Titmus. It was incredible.
Well, the thing I took away from it was that Titmus's splits, right?
Yes.
So the first 50 was 27.0. Okay, that's great because you got the dive. But then it's 28.8, 28.8, 28.8. The consistency is incredible. Yeah. I mean, the training she must have done, the broken 200 work she must have been doing, the target time must have been about 28.8, I'm going to say. Because that is really, really consistent. Fantastic swim from her. Olympic record as well, of course. And I wonder, like you say, the pacemakers made a bit of a difference. But Siobhan Jorge gets the first medal in swimming for Hong Kong.
Yeah, and to me, it wasn't really a surprise. I said yesterday in the live stream, I actually thought she could get silver. Ledecky,
I got big question marks over her.
I thought it was too fast. Just too fast of a race for her. She was never in it, and maybe she changed up her tactics and thought, you know what, if I stick with Titmus this time, I could get her on the back end. But she doesn't have that change of gear in a race.
No, it doesn't seem that way. She used to. Didn't she go 154.0 at one of these American meets this year? I'm so sure she did, or something along those lines anyway. Sure. It just hasn't happened for her. I'm still questioning the stroke because it looks so quick still. The stroke, the tempo, I don't know if she's slipping water. We're going to get onto the 1500, but she slows the stroke down and it just looks so much better. It looks smoother, more efficient. But I think the 200 in general is too... The 200 is too short for her in general anyway, because she's the 8 and 15 coming down to the 4. and then going one down against the two. To be able to do a good 200 when you're a good 1500 is pretty rare as it is. But still question marks. I don't think she's on top form, but fantastic win for Titmus again.
Maybe the addition of the 1500 into the Olympic schedule is just a little bit too far for her. A little bit too many meters in those shoulders, and the 200 fits in the same session as the 1500, which she obviously wanted to win.
Well, this is what I was going to bring up with the 1500, which comes up later, because she was 15 seconds off her world record, which is a lot, but she did enough to win. And I just wonder, why would you go fast in this 1500 when you know you're going to win? And she's got another 2 800s to do yet, plus the 4x2.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it, but I think she's saving herself ultimately. I think that's what's happening.
Elsewhere in this 200 free, Alexiak actually becomes the most decorated Canadian swimmer ever, which needs to be spoken about. I actually think she's a big threat for the 100 later on this week. Bronze, very, very impressive. I actually didn't have her on my podium, but when you watch the race back, I don't think it was really in doubt.
I think she did it pretty well, actually. She's obviously more of a sprinter, so she's got to take it out. And I think everyone knew Jorge was going to take it out as well. So again, the pacemaking sort of thing was going on there. I'm quite looking forward to her sprints later on. Actually, to be honest with you, to get a bronze in a 200, that bodes well for the 100. Is she doing a 50 as well? I think she might be doing a 50 also, but it's boding well anyway. And to be the Canada's most decorated swimmer, well, I mean, that is, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty good going. Yeah.
I think there might be more medals yet this meet for her. Men's 200 meters butterfly, Christoph Milak with the most disappointed face I have ever seen for winning gold.
Yeah.
He was gutted, but there is some reasoning. Obviously, he was going for that world record, and 10 minutes before the start of the race, his trunk split, which Arena, if you're not listening, Arena, that's not a good kind of advert for you if your lead swimmer's trunks are ripping. It's a bit like Phelps's goggles coming off.
A little bit like that, yeah.
For me, it was... It's hard to find the right word. I thought it was slightly arrogant of him to be that annoyed about winning Olympic gold.
It depends.
I think he needs to respect the Olympics a little bit more than the world record, because if you're that disappointed, like, come on, man, it's an Olympic gold. That's your first Olympic gold. Like,
it's his first Olympics and his first Olympic gold at the first attempt.
He could have been happier.
Yeah, I wonder if it's one of those things where if he goes to bed, he wakes up and realizes, actually, I'm Olympic champion. I think it then might hit him a little bit more. But
maybe
at the time,
he's completely time focused.
Possibly. I mean, he's so far ahead. He must have known he's going to win gold anyway. I think everyone in the world knew that. It's just the biggest question was whether he could break the world record. That would have been his aim going in. So in his head, I mean, the athlete's mentality, he's looked like he's failed because he wants to go 150.7. That's a world record. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I mean, he should be happy. He should be happy.
I've never had my trunk split on me 10 minutes before a race, so the mental obstacle getting over it. But you would have thought professional Olympic level, you can reset your mind and refocus. He said from that moment he knew he wasn't getting the world record, which is a very negative mindset to go into an Olympic final with.
See, when I heard that, or when I read it on BBC Sport, I was just wondering, that sounds like an excuse for not hitting that time. It sounds like an excuse, you know?
It's a reason. I'm not sure about excuse.
He was more than capable of getting it, and he needed a reason. If he was to not hit the time, then he needs a reason for not hitting that time. I don't know, but he should be happy. It's the second fastest time of all time, if I got that right. Faster than Phelps has ever gone. So he is by himself. He's way up by himself.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he should be pretty happy with that. But my biggest takeaway from that whole race was the person who came second. What a swim from Honda. Oh my word! From the outside lane. Something's in lane 8 at the moment, because there are some swims coming out of there. Hafanui obviously starts it all off in this 400 free, but Honda is carrying it on. Jeez, I mean, it's a fantastic swim, and I just wonder if he took advantage of the guys who go out fast, so the Bediso and Chad, who go out fast, and he was just sort of, I don't know, he's on the outside lane, of course, but he controlled the swim so well.
Yeah.
Deserves silver. I'm not going to lie to you. Deserves silver. Very well done to him. 153.7 is, I'm sure that's a PB for him as well. Fantastic stuff.
I do want to give a shout out to Bedisso and Mount Kelly, or as some people might know them, Kelly College. He trained there as a junior, so we'll count this as a half medal for GB. A half medal.
Yeah, well, we're not going to put it down here because it's not. We don't have half medals. We can only give one out.
No, but impressive work from the Mount Kelly team.
Yeah,
and he's only gone on to bigger and amazing things.
Olympic bronze. I mean, Olympic bronze, and then he's going to go into ISL, and he's pretty dominant at ISL, if I remember right. Swimming for Aqua, I think he swims for, and he's just going to. I'm not so sure. I think Aqua kept him. This is a whole different ball game. I don't know why we're talking about ISL all of a sudden, but he's going to make his money from ISL, and he's going to have a good year. I think that's
move on from ISL, Dan.
A very happy bronze for Bedisso. So. Well, here's a thing for you. I wrote down that the splits for Bedisso and Chad, who they go out fast on a 200 fly, right? They both went out in a 101. They both went out in a 53, and they both came back in a 101.
Painful.
That's a lot of pain coming back. Yeah.
Where did Chad finish in the end with his crazy tactic?
5th in the end.
5th. 154.9. That's pretty good for him. That's pretty good. I don't think he could have done much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm a little bit not shocked, disappointed. I don't know. Kenderisi came 4th, and I thought, he's got an injury, isn't he? Yeah, he had a bit of a shoulder injury, which I didn't know about, which I suppose is even more unlucky, I suppose. So, ultimately it was all about Milak, and then for me, Honda was the underdog who managed to snatch silver. So, classic Olympic story, underdog story,
Yeah, women's 200 meters butterfly. I think this one's gone just like Milak. This was very, very impressive from Zhang Yufei. We spoke about her yesterday, how much of a star she would be if she was from Europe or America. A 204 for a 200 fly and just killed the field. Absolutely destroyed it. Going into the final tomorrow, I have no doubt she's won gold, really.
No, mate. The only thing I wrote, I've obviously spoken about semi-final 1, which we'll get to, and then semi-final 2. Can anyone beat Zhang Yufei? I don't think there is. I don't think anyone can get close to her because she's got the 100-meter speed from the 100, like you saw. She got the silver. And then she's also got the endurance and stamina to bring it home as well. No one's getting close to her. She's near enough 2 seconds faster than everyone else in the field. Does she go even faster again? Possibly.
That was a PB. Possibly. That was a PB.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I didn't think she'd go quicker in the 100 fly final, and she did.
Yeah, that's true.
So she's doing really well, and she might get 2 medals in the 2 fly events. I mean, fantastic stuff. Really fantastic stuff.
GB representation in the final tomorrow as well. Alice Thomas. If I'm honest, I was actually expecting Laura Stevens to make the final. But Alice Thomas has come into form at just the right time. I think that's her experience paying dividends, and the fact that she qualified at trials, whereas Laura Stevens qualified at the very last race at Glasgow, and I think she had to double taper to get that, which has really affected her Tokyo.
Yes, I think let's talk about Laura then. I think you're right. She missed the final by 0.4, which
it's close. It's close.
It is close, but at the same time, when you've gone to Glasgow and you've gone 207, that would have comfortably made the final in 5th. She's going to look at that as though it's a big disappointment, but this is the training cycles. You can't taper for Glasgow a month out, or it's probably a bit longer than a month out now, and then double taper again before Olympics. It just you miss out a whole cycle. I think Adam was telling us on the podcast when he came on. It just doesn't work for you. The body, it just doesn't work, and so that's what happened with Laura. It just didn't work. But for Alice, I was really happy with her turns. When she won the Commonwealth Games in 2018, she won it on her turns, and yet again, her turns are fantastic, and that's the reason why she's in the final. I mean, if she goes her PB, she's on the podium. Her PB is like 2.5, isn't it? Was it 2.7? I can't remember what it is. Can't remember, but whatever time she hit the Commonwealth Games.
I don't think she's going 4 seconds quicker tomorrow.
No.
If I'm honest.
On paper.
I think I actually, someone's put the prediction in the chat, and I actually agree with it. I think Capas is there or thereabouts. Regan Smith, she's going to be disappointed with the 100 back, and this is her only other individual. So she could make the podium, but Flickener's a bit more experienced, would you say?
She comes back stronger than Regan Smith as well. Capas, I think Capas is just strong overall, a bit like Hosu back in the day, where she's just solid on every single length. Yeah, I agree that. I agree. I think Regan Smith just misses out on the medals here, so she's got a bronze and 100 back. Misses out on a medal here, but I'm sure she'll win a medal in the medley relay, of course. But yeah.
Men's 200 meters breaststroke, and we'll start with the first semi-final because the second semi-final there's a lot to talk about a certain British swimmer. The first semi-final, Kuminga. Now he's looked to me like he held back slightly in that first 100 compared to his heat swim. He just held it together a little bit more, and he still died off at the end. Now he goes to 207.99, which is good. That's decent. For me, if he's going to make any threat to Stubblety Cook, he needs to go out harder.
Yeah, well, Stubblety Cook and I suppose Chupkov, which is another different story. But those two guys are going to come back like they're going to come back like monsters, aren't they? They're going to come back like trains. And Kuminga doesn't have the same back end speed as those guys, but he does have the initial speed, like you saw in the 100, obviously. So maybe you're right. Maybe he does have to go out there. He's got one of the middle lanes. He's got lane 3. So yeah, push it. Bit like Wilby did, but we'll get onto him as well, where you just got change the tactics. The standard way at the moment seems to be just do the first 100 steady and then bring it home strong in the final 100.
Put some pressure on. Change
it up a little bit. I mean, then if you see Kuminga miles ahead of you, if you're stacked Stubblety Cook and you see Kuminga miles ahead of you, you're like, oh my Lord, I'm panicking a little bit, and then you might slip water. Who knows what happened? But you put yourself in the best position possible, which I keep going on about. Kuminga's got a chance. Oh, he's got a chance if he does that tactic. I don't know if he will. He's going to probably try and keep it efficient and hope that his speed holds up in the last 50 meters. It's going to be exciting to watch, though. Exciting to watch.
Ross Murdoch, 209.97. Little bit disappointing. You had a lot to take away from his interview afterwards.
Yeah, he was given an interview about talking about his journey, basically, in swimming, because he started swimming or taking it seriously relatively late. And so he was there thanking everyone. It was almost like this was like his retiring interview. I was like, oh my God, we actually going to see?
Not close.
But it's not. He actually said that he's going to do the Commonwealth Games next year, representing Scotland. I think he wants to represent Scotland one more time, and then he might call it a day. I'm not quite sure. Depends how he does, I suppose. But yes, I mean, he is basically a bit like Jimmy Guy. He's just kind of pinching himself like, actually, what I've achieved a lot. Yeah. I've done really well, and I'm going to have one more year. And see how it goes, I suppose. But yeah, he should be pretty happy with what he's done, to be honest.
Right, we have to talk about James Wilby. That, for me, I know the 4x2 was in this session. This was close to the best race of the session. If you forget the 4x2, it was the best swim of the session. It was phenomenal to qualify in 15th for the semi-final and then go into the final in 2nd. And he really, really went for it. He was under world record pace at the 150 mark. He did exactly what he had to do, and he does that in the final. I think he might make the podium because this 200 breast has been slow so far.
Yeah, I really do wonder if all of a sudden he becomes a bit of a podium threat. And actually, I've written down, when we said that Kathleen Dawson, if she wins a medal in the 100 backstroke, that will be our best medal hands down. If James Wilby wins a medal in his 200 breaststroke, that suddenly becomes our best medal that we could possibly get in this pool.
Yeah,
because that has come from nowhere.
I honestly thought he might have missed the final because 200 breaststroke around the world has been going 206 low for a little while, and then he suddenly pulls out at 207.
Yeah.
And everyone else around him is swimming pretty poorly by their standards.
I feel really bad actually for saying Wilby won't make a final. Of course he makes a final. He makes a final every time at these major meets.
He does.
For both 100 and 200, every time. He does it. He pulls it out of the bag. Is he going to win a medal? I'd love it. Absolutely love it. That would be the best medal that we have down here. It would honestly. He swam it so well. He said in the interview that he was aiming for a middle lane. He's got it. Lane 5, perfect lane to be in.
Tell you
next to Kuminga and Stubblety Cook as well.
I was going to say
Kuminga's going to go out hard. Like, let's go with your theory. Kuminga goes out hard, and you've got Stubblety Cook chasing you. Well,
that's what I was going to say. Wilby and Kuminga are going to be either side of Stubblety Cook, and Stubblety Cook might panic by the fact that both of them are going to go. Both of them are going to go. Stubblety Cook goes in fastest qualifier.
Yep.
For me, he's still favourite. I think there is a 205 in him if he gets it all right. Chupkov is the big question mark. A little bit like Ohashi in the 400 IM. Through the rounds, looked a little bit sluggish.
Yep.
Not really done too much. I think he's lucky to make this final.
Very lucky.
He looked like he took it a little bit too easy for 150 and then actually didn't go through the gears as quick as he usually does in the last 50. But he is he the world record holder or former world record holder? World record holder, isn't he?
He should be the world record holder, if I remember right. World record holder, 2612. Yes, yeah, he's world record holder.
So in no way can you write him off, and he does have the best back end of this field.
He does.
He's not impressed. He's not impressed in the slightest.
It's very, very strange swim from him to do it like he did and risk it. Basically, I just written down very risky. Why would you risk to do that? He's now in an outside lane. He's got lane 1. I suppose he's going to be by himself. He's got no pacemakers around him as such. Very strange. He was my favourite before Tokyo in our review. I thought Chupkov was going to win it. I thought 2 people would go 2:05. He still could. I don't think he will. I think I don't know. I've got no idea. I could predict as much as I want, but I still love, in my mind, I've just got James Wilby on the podium. I'd love him to get there.
You've written him on already.
I'd love to. I just love it. But I think Zach Toppity-Cook has to be favourite going in now. Kuminga has definitely got a chance. He might come away with 2 silvers, Kuminga, in both breaststroke events. I could see that happening. And then the fight for bronze, super exciting. And Nick Fink swam well as well, and that's the first time he swam well since I can remember, actually.
He's had I think he's had a few bad injuries and came back at the last round of ISL and actually looked decent there.
Yeah.
So it's good to see him in the mix, and he will be there or thereabouts as well.
Yeah.
Women's 200 IM. It's a sad one. Sad one
It
for
is.
British swimming. Abby Wood, 4th by 0.11, and this one hurt me. It hurt me more as much as Max, if not more, because she's PB'd. And you cannot ask for a thing more.
Yeah.
In an international final, she's just got mighty, mighty unlucky.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I mean, I knew the result before watching it, and I kind of wish I didn't know the result before watching it because she was in the right position. I thought she was, you're there, you're going to win a medal. I think gold was slightly out because Kate Douglas, they kind of turned at the same time on the breaststroke to freestyle leg, and I thought, Kate's got the slightly better... the better freestyle, so I thought, okay, that's going to be gone. But the one who really surprised me, and I don't know why we were surprised.
Well, hang on, let's talk about Abby Wood a little bit more before we move on for everyone else, because for me, the thing that, excuse my language, pissed me off the most is the media today have not mentioned her at all, and for me that hurts because it shouldn't be dictated around. I know medals are obviously important, but she's PB'd in a major final. A year ago, she wasn't on British swimming funding. A year ago, she got cut off. She really struggled to make the junior transition to seniors. And I actually think she's the perfect example for a lot of kids who are struggling to get onto that senior stage because of her perseverance.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's incredible. And I think she deserves a lot more credit than she's getting given.
She's had a fantastic year. I mean, once she finishes Tokyo, I think every swimmer usually has an overview of what they've done in this season, and she's going to be like, blimey, I've done quite well. It all started at ISL when swimming for breakers, and she was competing against Margalis and competing against Hosu, and giving them a run for their money as well. And it's just gone leaps and bounds from there.
I just thought this was the chance for her name to get pushed out into the general public a little bit more. And be made a little bit more of a superstar because she is quality. She's top quality. And now the chance is gone. The media have completely missed her, which annoys me a lot.
I think the problem is if she were to win a medal, then it would have been probably slightly more different. But
no, I appreciate that. But
it's very unfortunate. I mean,
pain of coming forth. The pain of coming forth.
I mean, just speak to Max about coming forth. I mean, geez. I mean, luckily they're in the same training squad, so she could now speak to Max and get over that because she did have a very worrying 200 breaststroke, which we come about later as well. So, and unfortunately, Max, I think, would have flown back by now, so she actually can't speak to him face to face.
I think he's still there. I think he might.
Is he still there? Okay, I haven't seen him yet. But very unlucky for Abby. But silver lining, she did get a PB. She can't do any more, and she'll come again. She'll come again. She will. She'll come again, and she'll medal definitely.
Ohashi, then the winner, caught me by surprise, which is odd to say because she won the 200 and she is a quality operator. No, she won the 400 and is a quality operator at the 200.
Yeah,
but it was the fact on the freestyle leg, she looked like she was falling behind slightly to the 2 Americans and then came through again. That's what surprised me because
I don't know if that's the camera angle, mind you. It might have been a camera angle.
But she definitely wasn't miles ahead like she was in the 400 IM, where everyone was chasing her down on that freestyle leg. I thought the freestyle leg was her weakest leg. Turns out it won it for her.
Yeah, I mean, she did the standard stuff that she does, very relaxed fly, and then the backstroke and breaststroke is it the best in the pool? The breaststroke is certainly the best in the pool, maybe over a 50. Over a 50. Alex Walsh has the best backstroke. Kate Douglas has the best fly, and Abby is just the all round. Yeah, I just unexpected. I didn't think Hashi was going to do it. I didn't think she had the fast twitch in her. Congratulations to her. 2 and 4 double IM. I think
she's the 7th ever to do it, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have done that. Yeah, I mean, Hosu's done it quite a few times, I'm sure. But yeah, overall, Ohashi, just a fantastic medal. I mean, she's how many races has she done? 2 races, 2 golds.
2 races, 2 golds.
Wow.
Leading light for Japan in the pool when actually a fair few have disappointed.
Well, you say a fair few. Certain Sato.
One.
Yeah, Sato is disappointed. Sato should have been winning the 2 and 4. Not the 2 fly, 2 and 4. But Ohashi has basically replaced Sato as the gold medal Olympic champion, which is, incredible, but very unfortunate for Abby. I've got no more words for it, unfortunately. It's just, she'll come again. She'll come again. Hopefully, this will be the springboard. The springboard that will relight the fire, to bring the drive more or bring it higher,
Women's 1500 meters freestyle, the last event before we get to the 4x2. Dan, do you want to race through it so we can get onto the good stuff?
The 1500, it's always good fun, isn't it? I mean, funnily enough, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a little 200 here, little 200 there, little 200 there. But basically, from what I gathered, for the first 200, Ledecky went into an early lead, about 2 or 3 seconds, I would say. And then I wound it on to about halfway, and she was about 2 or 3 seconds ahead. And then wound it on again, and she was 2 to 3 seconds ahead. So that was obviously the tactic to get that sort of distance ahead of everyone else, and then just maintain it. That's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, for me, this isn't an advert as to why it should be in the games. It's his first year first year in. And for me, I know I'm a 50 and 100 swimmer myself. So just very hard for me to sit through this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing in the comments that Erica Sullivan, she did do well. She was coming back at Ledecky, I suppose.
I like that. It's a hard race to put before the most important one for the guys. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, in effect, like you say, it's a procession. You call it a procession, and it is. You just give Ledecky the gold. I suppose it's a great silver for Sullivan and a great bronze for the German Kohler.
I was going to say,
right?
I don't think this is interesting until Ledecky goes. But then you watch Sullivan and you think, oh, you know what? It's just passing the baton on. I'm not even sure it's interesting after Ledecky goes for me.
Yeah, and the same could go for the 800 because you've got Casey Grimes, who's also about 15 years old for America as well. So it could be the passing the baton then as well. I don't see why it was included in the Olympic program. They could have just kept them both out and added some more 50s in, or just kept it the same because it's affected Ledecky's swim, to be honest with you. She was nowhere near her world record. She was 2 seconds slower than her heat swim, I suppose morning finals or whatever.
Yeah.
But she didn't need to go fast. She was just constantly 3 or 4 seconds ahead the whole time. And like I said before earlier, she's got the 800 to do as well. So she's already done 2 400s. She's already done 3 200s. She's done 2 1500s, and she's got 2 800s to go. Oh, plus the 4x2 relay as well.
It's a lot of swimming.
There's no point going fast in this, trying to break a world record when you know you've got the 800 tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
And especially with Titmus, she knows how good Titmus is right now. I mean, I was very much Camp Ledecky on the 800, and now I'm like, don't know. Not sure.
Maybe that's where it starts to get interesting, where Ledecky has competition. Maybe she is, I hate to say it, she's the problem. she's the reason it's so boring and everyone focuses on her. If there was a bit more competition, like the guys' side, I'm quietly looking forward to that one with Romanchuk, Wellbrook, Paltrineri, because that one's close. But when it's a procession for, how long is it? 15 minutes? It's hard. It's really hard.
You're basically just saying, Casey, you're too good. Can you not be too good, please, to make it interesting for me watching? Yeah. Stop being too good. It was a bit boring. I didn't watch the whole thing, admittedly. I reckon I watched about 400 meters total of it. Some at the start, some at the middle, some at the end. Yeah, that was it. Like I said before, the stroke rate came back to what I'm sort of used to compared to what it was in the 200. And it just looks better. She's more of an 800 and 1500 swimmer. That's where what's the words? Where she lives. Well, that's where she belongs. Forte. Thank you. Let's Forte. So, yeah.
Right then, the big one, the men's 4x200 meters freestyle. I'm sure everyone on this live stream knows the result, which means, Dan, underneath you,
put it down there.
One more gold.
Lovely.
Rightly so. The first, like we said to start with, the first time since 1908 that GB have had 3 golds. And Tom Dean becomes the first double Olympic champion in one games for over 100 years for GB in the pool.
Mental.
How impressive.
And he's done it ahead of Duncan. He's done it ahead of Adam. He's done it ahead of everyone. Absolutely mad. Incredible. 2 golds in 2 days. And do you know what the biggest thing was? First time ever the USA have not been on the podium.
I know.
In this event.
Sounds good.
Whoa.
Sounds good. That's a bit harsh. Shall we talk about the missed world record?
Oh, yeah. Go on. Unfortunately.
Now, I have a lot to talk about this one. Tom Dean, the lead-off leg, was a little bit slow compared to his individual. Now, there's a lot you can take away. The emotional come down of winning your first Olympic gold must be huge. I bet he's barely slept. He also swam the heats. Slightly wild for me that he did swim the heats. You've got Max there. As far as I know, he is still there in the crowd from watching his Instagram stories. So I think Max perfectly could have swam those heats, and then you're still making the final quite comfortably with Max. He's pretty good. And then the other takeaway, Tom Dean owes a lot of credit to Wang for winning his 200 free gold.
That's why because
I think Wang really helped him set his pace and was a perfect pacemaker. And we saw in this race, he had no one next to him and he had to set his own pace.
Yeah.
And he just didn't quite get it right. There's multiple reasons that his time was slower than the individual. I don't blame him at all for missing the world record. In fact, I honestly don't care that we missed the world record. It's a massive gold. I know people are going to talk about the world record. So those are my reasonings why Tom Dean was a little bit slow. And I think it's fair enough on the guy, if I'm honest.
I think the main reason is because he's just won his first Olympic gold medal, and it looked like at the time it didn't really sink in. Yes, he was like doing the fist pump and stuff, but it's away from the cameras in the hotel room when it really thinks it sinks in. You know, bit like Milak. I think it will sink in eventually what he's achieved. And maybe he didn't sleep. Yeah, maybe he didn't eat because he's bouncing all over the room. I still don't think he should have done the heat. He shouldn't have done the heat. If you've got Max in the crowd who could knock out a 1:46.7, you've got Joe there, although Joe's a little bit off
form
pace at the moment. But either way, you'd still make the final, no problem. I mean, do you have to qualify in lane 4? Not really. The water's just as wet in lane 2. Just use that. It doesn't matter, So, yeah.
Well, should we go through the rest of the guys then? Jimmy Guy, a 1:44.4. Incredible.
Very good.
I was so happy. See him in tears afterwards. Me and Dan, we're British, so we had the conversation beforehand. Do we say this? I think, hands down, he's the best relay swimmer of all time. Dan reckons Kate Campbell's in with the mix. I understand that. But the way Jimmy's held relay teams together at multiple disciplines, he does the 100 fly and the 200 free. I think the guy's incredible.
I think I think what makes you say that is because he has raced the best swimmers of all time. He has raced Phelps in the medley relay. He is now racing Dressel in the medley relay. And he's racing the best freestylers and Chalmers on the 4x1 or has done. He's raced the best and he hasn't let them just walk over him. He's actually keeping up with them, which is insane.
He's gone a 1:44.4.
Yeah.
Which I know it's off a relay takeover, but had all 4 of these guys could have made the Olympic final in the 200 free. All 4 of them. All 4 could have been fighting for the medals. Should we move on to Matt Richards? I think Matt Richards, for me, his second 100 won us the race.
This is
arguably so impressive.
Arguably the best swimmer of the 4. I know Duncan did a rapid time, and we'll get onto him, but Matt's second 100, especially his last 50, absolutely phenomenal. Massive PB for him, 1:45.0. Where would have 1:45 come in? Okay, well, yeah, okay. But even still, if you add on 0.3, do we say 0.3, 0.4? It's near
0.3.
enough on PB then.
Yeah.
Where would that have come in individual? Like 6th, maybe? I can't remember off the top of my head now. 6th or 7th? Just fantastic stuff from him. And then we got to get to Duncan as well, our lacer.
He's only 18.
Yeah.
Only 18.
Yeah. Just awesome. Just awesome.
Mind blowing,
isn't it? And then you got Duncan.
And then Duncan Scott. 143.4. 143.45. My, oh my.
Yeah. I mean, that must be the fastest in history.
Careful, because
I don't know about that. There's Phelps as well, isn't there? So yeah, probably not. I'm lying about that. But fantastic stuff from him.
And he did it with no competition. That's the most impressive thing I've taken away from that. He was 2.5 seconds ahead. He finished 3.2 seconds ahead. For me, that's nuts. He's done that without anyone chasing him.
I think he went into that race very similar to Milak. Okay, 5th fastest. I think he went into that race hoping for a world record. I think very much the same as Milak. I think he knew the gold was on, especially after Matt's split. When you're miles ahead, you think, well, I've got this. But he just went for it, and he saw the world record was in sight. And you could see at the end, he touched the wall, and he just went, oh. And so you've just won Olympic gold, but he was gutted that he'd missed the world record by 0.02. Another day, give it like 2 more days, and they do it again. They'll break that world record. I've got no question about it.
No, it's not going to be the same team for commies, is it? Because Matt is Welsh.
Duncan is Scottish. Yeah.
I actually, while we're talking about Welsh, Callum Jarvis needs a lot of credit as well. He obviously gets a gold medal as well for swimming in the heats, and they could have put him in this relay team and it wouldn't have mattered. He was so good.
Yeah, I actually wrote down, I don't know if you watched the interview afterwards, but Tom Dean, right at the very end. It was at Tom. He was very much saying, can we please call a shout out for Callum Jarvis, who's sitting on the other side of the pool there, because he was a massive help to this team, and rightly so. I mean, class act Tom Dean this week. Awesome. Just awesome. He deserves all the success that he's getting, to be honest with you.
Well, I spoke to him on the podcast, didn't I? You were busy. I think you were in Zimbabwe at the time.
I was in Zimbabwe, yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to him. He's a very well-educated guy, very well brought up. The way he talks is amazing. I actually think after this Olympics, I think he's doing a charity swim where he's swimming from Gibraltar to Africa with his friend George Taplin, and we'll speak to them about it then. What more can you want from an Olympic champion?
It's just awesome, isn't it? It's just awesome. I can't wait to see when he comes back to Maidenhead, because he is going to have he needs to, like when the football teams come back when they win Champions League or something, they have the massive.
Are you going to go see? Are you going to go see?
As long as he has a bus, he needs a whole bus to himself, and he can stay away. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? But no, seriously, I mean, what a swim. We've now got 3 golds and 1 silver. We've predicted 10+ medals. Still on track for it.
I think we've missed. There was just 1 miss so far for me, which is Abby.
Which is
unfortunate.
But then
we've got James, who, potentially could get one and make up that we didn't see coming. So I think GB are on track.
There's another potential which we'd never mentioned in the first place, and that's in the heats. But we will talk about that afterwards.
We'll get there.
Yes.
So we're going to have a 60-second ad break, and then we will get on to the women's 100 free, the men's 200 back, the women's 200 breast, and the men's 200 IM plus a relay. And trust me, there are some medals for GB who have just started their journey. For me, definitely are.
There were bonkers swims today, and stay tuned because we'll get through them. Awesome swims.
So we'll see you in 60 seconds. And if you have any questions you want us to answer before we get into the heats, just put them up in the chat and we'll get to them.
We would like to thank our partner AP for powering this live stream. AP is a brand built by our very own Olympic champion, Adam Peaty. Adam and his team's vision over the next few years is to revolutionise the sport of swimming through various different projects and events for all swimmers, coaches and parents. They have already launched AP Race Plus, which is a revolutionary online platform that provides you with world-class support and access to Adam Peaty's own support team of nutritionists, psychologists and many more. You can even meet Adam and be coached by himself and his team over the next few weeks at the AP Race Clinics, which will be held towards the end of August. You can find details of this tour and the AP projects in the description of this live video. Thanks again to AP for powering the Propulsion Swimming Olympic live stream.
Okay, Dan. Shall we get into these heats? Because the first thing I've written down, there was no messing around today. There were fast times all over the place. We've got Olympic records. We've got British records. We've got another Olympic record just off a world record. We got Michael Andrew, who went under a world record for 150. This was the fastest heats session we've had.
I tell you, this is the halfway mark, isn't it? So I reckon swimmers now know what's going on. They know the procedure of things, where to go in finals. They're getting used to these morning finals and how to recover, what to eat. And I think they now know what they're doing. And it wouldn't surprise me now if we're starting to see some. I mean, we see a lot of national records anyway, but we're seeing Olympic records tumble. We're getting very close to seeing world records go. So yeah, I think it's going to get better and better from now on in, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, in terms of heat swims, morning finals, some people are still struggling with. I'm going to speak to Brodie Williams tomorrow after his 200 back and see how he finds it. We have quite a good connection with a few of the swimmers out there, so we can understand just how hard morning finals are. We'll kick things off then with the women's 100 meters freestyle, and a 53.7 made the final, and Cromer Yo-Yo misses it.
So confused at the time. I think the commentators, because I was watching on Eurosport, and you had Lizzie Simmons and Bob Ballard, same thing, like, what's going on here exactly? Because I've got no idea. So it turns out that it was a tie for 16th, and there was also a tie for 18th. Yep. And the tie for 16th was between Marie Wattel and Cromer Yo-Yo.
Which is wild to start with, because they both shouldn't be there.
Both of those shouldn't have been there in the first place. They should be knocking on the 53.0 barrier. They shouldn't have been there. And then for some reason, we had two different names come up. There was a Chinese swimmer whose name I can't remember now. It was Qing Feng, right, versus Erica Brown. And I'm like, what's going on here? Because it surely turns out that Cromer Yo-Yo pulled out. And so Marie Wattel
didn't want to swim again.
Yeah, very confusing. Why? I've got no idea. But she shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. She should have gone out fast. But maybe the full focus is on the 50 now. She's the defending champion. Oh no, that was in London, wasn't it? No, ignore me. That was in London. But very interesting. Way,
this 100 free, there's names all over the place. You got Sjostrom, who went at 52.9. You got Pernell Bloom, who went at 52.9. Heemskerk, 53.1. A little bit slower than the rest of the field. However, they were in the first of the seeded heats, so it's kind of hard for them to understand how fast they need to go. Then you've got Anna Hopkin going a 52.75 British record, taking down Fran Housel. That is phenomenal. And she's in the final. For me, she might even be in chance of a medal, if not in the 100, definitely in the conversation for the 50, because her start and that first 15-25 meters, I said it in the relay, it's just amazing. It's flawless.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there needs to be a massive credit to Mel Marshall, because we're going to get on to Luke later because he had a fantastic backstroke. But Luke, Anna, Adam, of course, all swimming out of their skin at the moment. Massive credit to not just Mel, the whole team. We talk about AP clinics all the whole time. It is a team. It's not just Adam. And the work that they're doing is clearly working, because that's a big British record. Fran Housel's time that she went was not slow. And actually, if you go a 52.7, that's a final. First and foremost, that's a final. And then she's pushing the likes of Sjostrom and Jorge. And okay, Emma McKeon did pretty well today.
Oh yeah,
let's ignore her for the moment. Anna Hopkin is a podium threat based off that swim. Really excited now,
and
really
she looks so good. Every time you expect her, because she starts strong, she starts really strong. Every time it's like the last 25. Usually, you expect people to slow down, to die off if they've gone out that hard. She just keeps on going.
And you'd think with the straight arm freestyle, which is supposed to tire you out after about 50 meters, 60 meters, maintains it.
Well, it's because of her hypermobility in her shoulders, which
she did say that. Yeah.
Luckily, sometimes you just need those physical attributes to push you over the edge to make you kind of luckier than everyone else.
Yes,
This gold medal gone? Is this well and truly sewn up?
That's a fantastic time, 52.1, Olympic record. What is the world record? Isn't it Sjostrom's?
51 something, I think.
51.7 that Sjostrom did. I mean, that's a very quick world record. I don't think the world record goes. But either way, Emma McKeon is 0.6 faster than everyone else as of right now. She looks good in the 100 fly. I said that she would win the 100 fly. It didn't happen for her, although it took some mega good swims to get past her in that 100 fly. I said that she was favourite to win it, and I'm going to stand by it now, and I feel quite redeemed for it because it's just
she's
awesome
a long
swim.
way clear.
Long way clear, and it's going to take some not miracle, but it's going to take a massive swim for her to get beaten in this event. So, yeah.
Kate Campbell, good start, but then died off not as usual. She usually has a fairly average start, and then
it's because she's so tall.
Yeah,
she's 6'1", 6'2", and it's hard if with that massive frame to get off the blocks. The reaction is always going to be a little bit slower.
She didn't impress me too much. I know 52.8, decent. Alexiak, again, I actually think she's dangerous come the final. Alexiak 52.95 after swimming the 200 at the start of the day.
So Kayla Sanchez and Penny Alexiak, I've written down as dark horses because they are swimming well this meet so far, and it wouldn't surprise me if they steal a bronze or maybe even a silver. I mean, it might be a little bit short, a little bit out of reach, but you never know. They are swimming well, and Canadians have done it right so far. About Kate Campbell, I think she just did a professional job. She knew that sub 53 would make it, and that's exactly what she did. She does tie off towards the end, which is weird, but yeah.
I like the comments in the chat about Anna being next to McEwen in the semi-finals and maybe as well in the finals, as long as she sticks with her and stays by her side for the whole of that race, because they were in the same heat, if I remember correctly. They were in the same heat, but quite a way apart across the pool. But they basically swam the same race, but Anna just slowed up slightly. So Anna is next to McEwen in the semi-final. As long as they go through together, she's got a great chance of a medal. I really think that.
If McKeon is going to go 52.1, and let's say Anna is on her hip, Anna's going to go the same sort of time, 52.7, 52.6 even, or whatever. That's a final. That's a final. You're going to make it. And then you swim your own race, go for it in a final, whatever the tactic would be that Anna's going to play out. But I mean, I don't want to boost her up too much because we've done that and it's fallen short sometimes. But great shot. I mean, I'm super excited for it. We'll find out.
So am I. Another Brit in the field, Freya Anderson. She goes a 53.6 to make it through, which is the important thing. We know she's had a very tough build-up. Well, we didn't know until she did an interview after the 200 freestyle. Making the knockout stage in this, that's the important thing in terms of confidence. I'm not sure she goes too much further if she's had a interrupted build-up. Again, one for Paris. I'm really excited for Freya Anderson's future.
Yeah, I think 100 is too short for her anyway. She's definitely an out-and-out 200 swimmer. A bit like, I was going to say Pellegrini, but actually Pellegrini used to have the 400 world record once upon a time. But yes, she's definitely just an out-and-out 200 swimmer. I think she's good at 100, don't get me wrong, but she's definitely more suited to the 2. It is, I think this might be the end of the road for her in this event. I mean, I'd love to be surprised. I'd love for her to go through, but there are some massive names in this race.
Really
and there's going to be big names that miss the final.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the semi-final. There's a lot on the line tomorrow morning. Yeah. Men's 200 meters backstroke. Luke Greenbank, could you be more impressive?
My biggest question was like, why did you go that fast? Well, you don't need to go that fast. Why did you do that? You knew a 56, 57 would have been fine, but no, he just decides to smash it out and go 154 and be just off his British record and swim the 5th fastest time this year. Okay, sure. Just go for it.
His turns were phenomenal. 50 meters off every single wall. Yep. I think that's exactly what you have to do if you're going to beat Ryan Murphy or Rylov.
Especially Ryan, both, because Rylov's turns are looking very good at the moment. Ryan Murphy is known for his turns, of course, and I think you're right. I think he has practiced those with Mel at Loughborough to combat that, because I think swim speed, would I be right in saying that Luke might have faster swim speed than Ryan Murphy? I don't know about that.
No, not sure. Not sure.
But as of right now, he's
phenomenal for his underwaters. I've got a question. Luke on the podium.
Well,
after that swim, it was a bit of a reach, but I got excited. I put medal on the way. Medal on the way. I actually put that down. I put that down.
Oh, you wrote it down. I thought you put it on like social media or something. Like, oh my God, that's brave.
It is brave. It is brave. But that was so impressive. There's so much more to come from Rylov and Murphy. I have absolutely no doubt in that. They have, well, I think 53s in them, but I think Luke for a bronze wouldn't be
I don't think that's a stretch. I mean, when we did our predictions, we said 10 plus. I actually don't think, in my list anyway, I didn't have Luke in that guaranteed guaranteed, strong chances of medaling. I had him in one of the good chances. And as of right now, that good might be turning into a great chance because that's a fantastic swim. I'm expecting Ryan Murphy and Rylov to be potentially the top 2 going into the final because I think they'll step it up. But then for bronze, got a chance. We've got a fantastic chance.
Do we think Murphy is a sure thing for gold? I never thought he was a sure thing for gold. I actually thought Rylov is a sure thing for gold because I didn't think he'd win the 100. I thought he would be full on focused in this 200.
Yeah, I favoured Rylov for this 200. I didn't think it was a sure thing that Rylov was going to win because, of course, Ryan Murphy is the defending champion. I know Luke is now swimming really well. The Chinese swimmer, Jiayu,
he was disappointing. Really disappointing.
I thought he'd be right up there, as a top 5 swimmer. But, what was the question again? Oh, is Murphy Ryan a sure thing for gold? No, he's not a sure thing for gold. I don't think so. He could win gold. It's not a sure thing. I don't think, no.
The only other thing is, apart from Luke, everyone else took that very comfortably. So you can't take too much away from their swims. All you can say is Luke is in good form.
Yes. Yeah. He's carrying on his form from Europeans. He swam well at Europeans as well. The only time he swam bad this year so far is at trials, but that was because of a bad foot.
Or bad ankle. Foot. It was terribly bad ankle. Terribly bad ankle.
Black and blue, and he shouldn't have swam once we heard what his injury actually was. Yeah. Mental.
Brody Williams makes a semi-final. I'm over the moon for the guy. Makes a semi-final. We've been bigging up his 200 backstroke all year, and it's just not been going right for him. Bless the guy. He slipped on blocks. He had speakers break on him.
Yeah.
A 157.48, and I think there's more to come. I really do. And I think maybe a 156.5 makes the final. Just
probably something along those lines. I would have thought. Yeah,
and he's definitely got that in his locker.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what his PB is now, but he's definitely got a 156. It is. Yeah, it's 156 something.
I'm just glad to see. I'm glad to see him put the disappointment of the 400 IM, which, let's face it, was a little bit of a shock that he qualified in, behind him. He's very quickly moved past that, and now he's into semi-finals of an Olympics. Yeah. What more can you ask?
We've always said that the 200 backstroke is his more favoured event, and he's shown that by going straight through to the semi-finals, comfortably through, I would say, 0.5, 0.4, 0.5 into the semi-finals. Does he make the final? It's going to be a big, big ask, but he's capable, more than capable of doing it. I'm really looking forward to how he does, actually. He must be in a bit of a better mindset now. The confidence must be like, okay, I've turned up. I'm here now. I've actually swam a pretty decent time.
Good race, yeah.
And he can now sort of start to enjoy it because it's very difficult swimming a race, your first race at Olympics. Not that it sounds like I'm speaking from experience. No, I'm not at all. But it must be difficult.
Dreaming.
It must be difficult to go to the Olympics, race for the first time, and have a bad race, and then think, "Oh no, I've swam really badly."
And he's picked it back up.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe the thing that Kieran Bird, because he didn't have what I think it was a really good 400 free.
So do I.
And then the 800 wasn't up to scratch at all, to be honest with you. But I think Brody should take a lot of confidence from that. I really should. So, yeah,
definitely. Looking forward to semi-finals and looking forward to see if Luke maybe slows down slightly for a semi-final.
I don't think so. Just go for it. Make sure you're in the final. You do have a full day off, don't you, between semi and final? I would go for it again. 154 is going to make final. Just do it again. Do it again now.
Women's 200 meters breaststroke. Another ridiculously fast time. Schoonemaker with a 2:19.16. Very, very close to a world record, Olympic record, definitely. Mighty close to the world record. This is the first time I've ever seen her swim a 200. Would you believe? Yeah. I've not been exposed to her racing that much. My biggest takeaway is her 100 stroke was very violent, like up and down, really hard, really fast.
I like the word violent.
Please, her hat came off.
Yeah.
it's still like that in the 200 with a glide. It's bizarre to see.
You know what? I compared it to Chupkov, where I don't know about the aggression side of it, but you know the out sweep is so wide, which means the in sweep's got to be so strong, which means that she's getting the real height. And then, of course, this is the least streamlined position you can be in breaststroke, so you've got to accelerate to get into that extended position.
And she's really fast about it.
And she's really good at it. Yeah, very sort of whip kick, as they all do, of course. And yeah, I can see why she's good at 200 breaststroke. My lord. We were very much on the fence whether this world record goes. And now, well, that's the other side of it. Because
she's not swum fast in mornings yet. She swam very well in the 100 breaststroke heats and didn't overly carry that through.
Yeah. And that was the biggest thing that I was going to bring up as well. This is based on the 100 the last couple of days. So
can I ask in the chat, because I presume most people here are British and are struggling with the time schedule, who else is fed up of morning finals for America? Can we just get rid of it and swim it like it's a meet without television? Does that make sense? So that it's actually the world-class swims. I don't get people in the UK are getting up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch it. If you love swimming, you'll get up.
Yeah.
Just stop with this morning finals. I'm so fed up of having to say, oh, it's a slow time because it's a morning. Just make sure it's the best swimming possible. This is the Olympics. We were saying later on, I wonder how some of these guys will go at the commies when it's evenings. It's just, it feels like it's handicapped swimming.
Yeah, I think that this is the problem with media and money. I think
I'm fed up of it. I'm really fed up of it.
The population is obviously in, well, it doesn't matter about China because it's on that side of the planet anyway where the games are. But the next biggest population, apart from India, because that's that side of the planet as well, is America.
It's an American sport, but at the same time, I'm fed up of Americans dictating. For their television. And there you go. Even the Americans don't like swimming morning finals. Stop putting the TV ahead of the swimmers.
Yeah,
I want to see fast times.
Yeah, it's just not going to change. They did it for Beijing, so it's not going to change. Well, I mean, the next Olympics is in Paris, so we've got no problems there. But then the next one's in LA, so then we're going to have to stay up late again, no doubt. Yeah, I think so, because it's in LA, the other side of the America, isn't it? So, but anyway, yeah, that's not going to change. So we can moan about that as much as we want.
Anyway, Brits in the water. Molly Renshaw, comfortable.
No problems whatsoever.
2:22.9. I expect her to be in a final. I expect her to cause some podium problems because she's a top class operator. Abby Wood, I know she snuck through and she got lucky. I was impressive she got through after that huge come down of the 200 IM in the morning.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
She's through. She can put that behind them and then carry on. Basically, start over tomorrow.
Yeah, again, you'd have to ask Max what it's like to finish fourth at the Olympics and especially be that close to a medal as well, like Max was. And it must have taken the stuffing out of her. All the energy drained, the mental just and she did well to get through it. To be honest with you, definitely. 2:24 is still pretty decent after that massive shock.
For Abby's standard, that's not brilliant. But
it's not brilliant, but after the mental hits that she's just had of, the 200 IM is her main event, and she probably was going quite confident into that race about getting a medal. And when you've been hit so badly with bad news, then people take it different ways, but she took it. Everyone would take it badly, wouldn't they? But she's done well, to be honest with you, to get through. That's the thing, and hopefully she can now put that disappointment behind her and then reset. Yeah, mental reset.
Two Americans, we have to talk about them a little bit. Lily King, a 2:22. Now she pushed this quite a lot. She pushed this really hard. She went out in a 1:07. For me, the question is that all she's got?
Well, she went 21 at trials, didn't she? She has, in theory, got more in her tank, but she did half go for it and then tie up towards the end. If she does that again, she'll make the final. Of course, 2:22 will probably make the final. She's not going to cause a podium threat, if that's what you're asking. But she's got the relays, of course. This is her last individual. I don't know what's because I would prefer Annie Laser ahead of Lily King.
That's my thing. I thought Annie Laser actually swam that race almost perfectly.
Yeah.
The way she paced it, you can really tell that she's up for this. Lily King, your takeaway was what? That she wasn't getting her turns right, which might be a sign of her slipping water.
Yeah, this happened in the 100 as well. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but she is missing turns, jamming turns, where she's getting the stroke count wrong. And she's either doing an extra stroke into the wall or she's gliding into the turns.
Yeah.
And she's doing the extra stroke to try and keep that speed up. And it's in every turn, it seems, at the moment. So something's not quite right. That means she's either slipping water or she's just not quite muscly ready, just not tapered properly. I don't know. But it's unfortunate. She's just not on form. I mean, it just might be one of those things.
I don't know if this is a bit of a reach, but we do have to remember her training partner, Cody Miller, massively disappointing at US trials. So I don't know if that was kind of a sign or a warning sign that we should have picked up on.
I don't know, because she swam really well at trials. She went 64 for the 100 and went 222 at the 200. And based off that, that's the reason why we thought she would go 63 in the 100. Because I don't think she's tapered for this. Why would she? Maybe she did. And then the double taper, a bit like Laura Stevens, hasn't worked for her. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's going to make the final, so she's got another 2 cracks at it, but it's not going to win gold because Schoonemaker looks like it's almost guaranteed. But who knows? Who knows? Because she hasn't performed in the morning so far. But this is her preferred event, so we'll see.
Men's 200 IM. So much to talk about again. Yeah. Absolutely stacked field. This is world class. So you got Michael Andrew going through his fastest qualifier. We will get to him. We could talk about his 200 IM all day. Then you've got Laszlo Che going through at 35. You've got Hagino. You've got Duncan Scott. You've got Sato just qualifying. You've got Larkin. You've got Gonzalez. You've got Chase Callis. You've got Clarebert. Some big names are missing this final.
Oh yeah, and Sato will be one based off form. It's not going well for him. He's been very lucky to even qualify for the semi-finals. I'm not quite sure what's happened. The pressure has got to him. Luckily, Ohashi has stepped up to win the golds, because really, Sato had a chance of winning gold in this event. Based off previous races. Of course, Michael Andrew and Duncan Scott have done wonders since, so I suppose he would be the bronze medal favourite, if you like. But yeah, there's going to be some big names missing out. I don't know who's going out. I mean, I'd love the story of Laszlo Che potentially getting a medal. I mean, I'd love him to get gold. Well, no, I'd want Duncan to get gold first. I mean, joint gold. That's fine. I'm happy with that.
There we go.
Got there eventually. But yeah, so honestly, it could. The names are massive. I mean, Lewis Clarebert got a national record. Michael Andrew is his breaststroke is
talk about
good.
Michael Andrew.
Let's go with him. His breaststroke is very good.
I call his 200 IM Marmite. So if anyone doesn't know what Marmite is, just search it. He goes out in a 24.8 for 50 fly. Not bad. Then his backstroke leg is a 29.6. Breaststroke leg for 32.6, which is incredible. Absolutely bonkers. And for people saying he should hold back for the freestyle, no, just go guns blazing and hold on, because he then does hold on. Yes, it looked like he relaxed a little bit, but a 30.0. Dan, you were telling me beforehand that was the slowest freestyle leg out of anyone who wasn't in the first heat.
I think, I don't quote me on this because I'm not quite sure, but that was the slowest freestyle split out of everyone who entered the 200 IM, apart from the guys in the very first heat. I think. Whether that's true or not, I might have made that up, or I might have read that and it was fake news. I have no idea. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, these guys should be going quicker than 30 point for the last 50 meters of freestyle.
I mean, then he's going to get chased down, and Duncan Scott came back in a 27.8, which is miles quicker. Yeah. Yes, Michael Andrew relaxed. He chilled out. Yeah, but I don't think there's too much more than a 29 in him. I don't think he's going sub 29. So if Duncan is on his feet, I actually think he could be further than his feet on the freestyle turn. He might catch him.
It all comes down to, I was going to say the breaststroke, but because Michael Andrew's going to go out and Duncan's got to try and keep up with him. So maybe it's all about the backstroke, trying to catch up to Michael Andrew as much as you can on the backstroke, because he's going to leave you on the breaststroke. No one in that field, or no one maybe in history, has gone 32 point for a 50 breaststroke split on a 200 IM. It's unheard of. I mean, that's the reason why he is country miles ahead of everyone on that last turn. I mean, it's going to be the same in every race that he does. But the freestyle leg is where it gets really exciting, because Duncan who's just medaled in the 200 free, both gold and silver, effectively, because of relay as well.
He's annoyed about that medal in the 200 free.
Yeah, and he's a pretty decent 100-meter freestyle as well. He can go 47 point. He's going to come back at you very strong. It's going to be super exciting for us. I mean, it's going to be.
I actually love Michael Andrews' tactics. It's not easy to break down as a coach or anything like that but he swims it for his. What's the word I'm looking for? For his attributes. He swims to his advantage, strengths, which is the breaststroke and the butterfly. And I don't think you can ask anything more of him. Is he ever going to get the world record? No.
I don't think so.
There's talk that every time he turns on that 150 mark, he's under world record place. There is no chance in a world he's getting the world record because his freestyle just isn't good enough. He doesn't have enough stamina at the back end. But
well, listen, at trials,
he was even under threat.
He was 1.2 under the world record with a length to go at US trials. I mean, if that's not a big enough lead to break the world record, then I don't know what is. I mean, you're not going to break it if you can't do it just from there. So, is he? What was your question? Is he under threat from getting the gold medal?
I'm not even sure he is, because you look at the times he did before the Olympics, and he's a mile ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he is. He's definitely favourite. It's just everyone knows what his tactic is. This is the thing. It's just whether you can keep up with him on those first 3 legs. He definitely took it easier today, without a shadow of doubt in my head. He can go a second quicker, no problems. I was pretty impressed with Chase Callis, to be honest with you. Again, the breaststroke leg from him. He proved it in the 400 IM earlier in the first final of the whole thing. And he's done it again in this meet. He's looking good throughout this whole competition so far, so don't be surprised if he gets on the podium.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. I think it's a battle for bronze between Chase Callis and Larkin.
Yeah, there's Hagino as well, mind you.
Actually, Hagino did look good. It did look good.
There's names all over the place, to be honest with you. So we'll just have to find out, won't we?
I'm looking forward to breaking this down again after the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's good to get rid of half of them. Let's see the top 8, and then we can make a real well, I mean, our predictions have been pretty off so far, but we like to think that it's steady. We like to think it's a bit of a head-to-head between Duncan and Michael Andrew, and hopefully Duncan comes out on top. But as of right now, Michael Andrew is favourite to win that one.
Yeah. Joe Litchfield, little bit disappointing. It's not quite been his Olympics. I think he finished in 35th, which he will be upset about.
Yeah.
Learning curve, he'll be back.
Yeah, it just hasn't worked for him. I mean, you saw it in the 4x1 free as well. The freestyle didn't work for him.
Maybe that performance got to him slightly in this.
Well, I was saying about the Brody swim, didn't I? Where if it's your first Olympics, it's the pinnacle of the sport, and you want to do your very best. And if you don't do your best, I mean, he was well below par in that 100 free.
Yeah.
And it's obviously affected him too much, and it's affected his number 1 event, unfortunately. But it's got to be a learning curve, and he's too good not to make a semi or even make a final in Paris. So hopefully he stays strong. So we'll see.
That's a big shout.
Yeah.
Well, that's as much as the 200 I am as I want to cover before semi-finals, because we can dig into that a lot.
Yeah.
Women's 4x2, Aussies as dominant as the GB men. I've got written down, and they could easily change 4. I think they're changing 3 swimmers.
Yep, there's a number of swimmers they could add in there. I mean, one of them is the Olympic champion in Titmus, of course. I don't know if they add McKeon in. I don't know if she's going to...
It's a bad clash with the 100 free. It's a bad clash with the 100 free.
I don't know. The scheduling has been in question, to be honest with you.
Well, it's like this for every Olympics, isn't it? But
to be honest with you, I think she wouldn't swim it just because it would affect the 100 so badly.
Well, it's at the end of the session, so they might just put her in because they're 3 seconds clear.
Even though the 100 meters free is first, I think it's going to play on the back of the mind. And things that are worrying you in the behind your mind isn't always good. She might anchor at the end, so...
Rita knows best. They're changing all 4.
Well,
I think we'll trust SwimSwam. Rita are changing 4. They're changing 4, which is incredible to think. Does that world record go then?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I mean, they've already broken it in the 4x1. They're going to break it again in the 4x2. And the medley's not too bad either, to be honest with you. I don't think the world record goes in that, but their relays are so strong. So strong.
I've got another little question.
Okay, go on.
are America slightly under threat for not finishing top of the medal table? Because some of the Aussies look good.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the medal table, to be honest with you. I think I've heard we're like third as of right now.
We're third with 3 golds, and then Aussie and America are joint on 4.
Blimey. By this point, you'd think America should be on like double figures or something, or close to.
Yeah.
Mental.
Rita, actually, if you are listening, I would like to know your opinion on that. Are the Americans underperforming slightly, or is just the rest of the world doing really well? Because the Aussies women are winning this, and they're winning it with a world record. McEwen could then win the 100 free. There's a lot of medals left in the Aussies,
She could win the 53 as well. And you've got Kate Campbell in there as well that could also bump that up with the silvers and bronze potentially, or even maybe win this as well. I mean, we watched on Amazon Prime, didn't we, the Australian trials, and they looked good. God, they look good. They
don't usually bring the form over to the Olympics. They usually only race well on home soil, but a fair few of them have stepped up. I mean, you've got Stubblety Cook in the 200 breaststroke. There's still lots of golds in that team.
Oh, listen, Chalmers could surprise us and get gold again, defend his title. I mean, they could be runaway top of the medal table as of right now. I mean, they're doing so well, and the future is looking good for them as well, because the lead-off leg in this heat was Molly O'Callaghan, who went a junior world record and went 155.1. And I think she's 17. That was a 1 second PB for her. That would have come 5th or 6th in the individual.
Yeah.
Mental.
For once, the Aussies are performing at the Olympics. It is finally good to see. They are doing really well. I'll tell you what, Rita, you've joined us late. Chalmers, Dressel, or Popovic, or Kalashnikov. I went Kalashnikov. Dan went
Dressel.
Close,
though. It's going to be super close. They're going to hit about the same sort of time.
Yeah. Behind the Aussies, I think America quite comfortable second, and then for me a fight for third between China and Canada.
Yeah, Canada looking pretty good this meet so far. So don't write them off. I think we did kind of write them off quite a bit in the preview in our podcast, and we shouldn't have done. Maggie McNeil, that went under the radar for us in the 100 fly.
Completely.
Alexiak has gone under the radar a little bit for us. So we need to sort of put that right, actually. And I think I would say Canada on the podium, to be honest, because I think they add more swimmers in. So it'll be Australia world record goals, United States, and then Canada in third. That's the way that I'm going for it.
And that rounds up our review of day 5. We're past halfway, Dan. We're past halfway. I've enjoyed every minute of this so far. I'm really glad to see so many people join us, especially from the British swimming community. Like we always say at the end of these live streams, if you have any questions, put them into the live chat because we will answer them. We do have one about the mixed medley relay with Jimmy Guy swimming the 100 fly in the heats tomorrow. Should they rest him and put Jacob Peters? I think they do. I think they do put Jacob Peters into the medley. Into the mixed medley relay heats.
Oh, blimey. I didn't even think of this. Is that tomorrow? There's a mixed medley tomorrow. Well, that's exciting.
I haven't even got that far ahead.
No, I haven't planned that out. So he is doing the heats, is he? Is that what we're hearing? Or
who would you have do the heats?
Oh, Jimmy. Every time I'd have Jimmy in my relay team every day of the week.
What, you wouldn't rest him?
Nope, put him in. Every single time. I mean, if you want your team to do well, put Jimmy in every single time. But
personally, I'd rest him. I might even throw a curveball and say, why don't you give Tom Dean a 100 fly?
Is he done now? I think he's done now, isn't he?
Yeah, give Tom Dean a 100 fly in the mixed medley relay.
Could do, yeah. Why not? I mean, it's always good.
I don't think that'll happen, but
I mean, maybe it's a good idea to put Jacob Peters in. You've seen how some of these newcomers have come onto the Olympic stage for the first time and not bottled it, but you could see they're a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant, and stuff like that. So maybe just get him in the water, get the cobwebs out. Because Jimmy's obviously had 2 swims now. He's already got his gold medal so far, and he's looking great. So potentially save him. I mean, as of right now, I think just put Jimmy in.
Apparently we're talking crazy. So now's a very good time to end this live stream. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined us. I want to say again a massive thank you to Adam Peaty's AP for powering this live streams. If you do want to check out his AP Race Plus platform, do head over to the link in the description of this live stream. Or if you want to get coached by Adam and his team, book yourself a place on the AP Race Clinics. It's really one you don't want to miss out on. Who wouldn't want to be coached by a double Olympic champion?
Well, hopefully he can coach the next Adam Peaty. How good would that be? I mean, you could be that. You could be that one swimmer, So who knows?
He's already said he doesn't want his son George to be a swimmer. He's done with the early mornings, so
yeah, it's tough.
Who knows?
It is tough.
He might spot one instead.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone who's joined us. We'll be back again tomorrow evening at 7:30. Where, well, like we said today, there's a lot of British potential medals who've started their journey, and we'll talk about their semi-finals tomorrow. Exciting times.
We're looking forward to it again. 3 golds, 1 silver so far. We're at the halfway mark or just over it now. And many more medals, hopefully, will be arriving at the bottom of this screen. So, yes, thank you again for everyone watching and listening. We will see you again tomorrow.
Yep. Have a nice evening, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.